So here I am fixing my motherfucking house again. Now I done told y'all that I would show y'all the consistency that I like my drywall mud to be. Notice how when I scoop it with my knife, it fall off the knife, but not that fast. If it's too runny, it'll go flying off the knife. But if it's too thick, it won't fall off the knife at all. And so this is just my preference. This is what works for me. That is how I like my mud to be mixed. Now I am using the pre-mixed mud for my third and final coat and also for my touch-ups, because maybe it was just me, maybe it was the way I was mixing it, but that Kwikset powder mud just had too many like air bubbles and stuff in it that you could see in the finished work when the mud was dry. And so I wanted to use my pre-mixed mud to cover that, and also because I am using a 12-inch knife for my third coat. And I think one of the problems I was having with the other coats was that I was using a new knife and I was also using new mud. And so that was a crazy combination for real. So I decided, like, you know what, you might have a better time with mud that you're used to in a new knife. And then once I get good at using these knives and I get a good technique down for using these bigger knives, then I feel like I may be able to experiment a little bit more with using that Kwikset mud. Also, I explained it in another video that the Kwikset mud, the blue mud in general, is just, it has a softer finish than the green lid mud. And so I did want my final, finished coat to be with that stronger, tougher green lid. Now, after experiencing what it was like wet sanding, because that was something that I also tried for the first time, I pretty much knew exactly what imperfections I could leave that the wet sanding sponge would fix, and what imperfections I could not leave because the wet sanding sponge would not fix, and I would end up having to touch it up. And so my main goal with this third coat is to, 1, feather everything out, but 2, apply the mud in a way to where sanding is the final step and I don't have to come back and do touch-ups. Because convex, concave, I don't know the difference between the two. I mix them up. Anything that dips into the wall, it can't be sanded. You have to fill it with mud. But anything that sticks off of the wall, it can be sanded. And then, like I said in my previous videos, with the wet sanding, if the edges were not feathered good and the edges was too thick, trying to sand them just tore up the paper on the drywall that didn't have mud on it. So I was very, very careful to make sure that everything I did was feathered good. And so anything that I have to sand is going to be more in the middle of the joint. Most likely from when I pass my knife upward, and the upward motion, like it leaves a line in the wall. And then if I pass my knife downward, it leaves a line in the wall wherever I stop. If I don't run my knife all the way top to bottom, wherever I stop, there's going to be a line. But that's fine with me because those are easy to sand. Now, the baby was crying. It was her bath time. So I had to stop what I was doing. She's laid down now because I am fighting with everything in me to muster up the energy to go back in there and finish the third coat so that tomorrow all I got to do is sand and paint.